So if you're struggling with getting things done, you need to hear this. With most of the people, when they plan for tasks, when they plan for to-dos, they usually follow one of two formats. Either they would start with a checklist and just add tasks one by one. And they would go through them, they would complete them, and they would check them off one by one. And the other approach is that they would have three lists. They would have a to-do list, an in-progress list, and a list for things that are done. And then they would add tasks one by one, and then drag them into the in-progress list, and eventually drag them into the done list. But no matter what approach you end up going with, you always run into one problem, that is that your to-dos just pile up. That it just gets really hard to determine what you should start with, and you end up getting nothing done. So it doesn't matter where you track your to-dos on, whether it's an Excel sheet or a Google Doc or just a piece of paper or an app like this is Instaboard. After a while, you just stop using that and start to procrastinate. So the key problem here is that to-dos are kind of like things that you buy in a grocery store. You need to pay for that. What do you pay for that with? You pay for that with your time. So therefore, the way how you should manage this is that you should have a shopping cart. So this kind of looks like a to-do list, but when you are adding tasks into this, you should think about this as if you're buying things. You're about to buy these things with your time. You don't have infinite amount of time, just like you don't have infinite amount of money when you walk into a grocery store, right? When you add things to your shopping list, you don't just add whatever that comes to mind or whatever you see into your shopping list. You have to pick. You have to pick based on your budget, unless you're super rich, of course. But unless you have infinite amount of time, you need a budget. And when you add things to your shopping list, you need to have the mindset of that you're gonna eventually pay for it with your time, of course. That's a very important mindset. However, there's another thing that you should keep in mind of. That is, when you add tasks to your shopping list, you will have to be ready to pay for it. I know that sounds similar to what I just said, but what I mean by paying for it is that you need to have a calendar. That's why you should have a calendar ready for the actual, like, this is your money here. That is the amount of resources that you have. Time. Time is your most precious resource. You should be thinking about which of these days I'm gonna be using to pay for my tasks. And when I add things to my shopping list, I'm gonna be allocating that to one of these days that I'm gonna be using to pay for my tasks. So that's the most important mindset.